we would do a little live stream from the combine. This is probably the last day of wheat harvest. I know you guys haven't seen any yet on the channel. I just want to make this clear. This is a live stream, and there's like a few week delay in the videos, so that's why you haven't seen any wheat harvest yet. But yep, we're chugging along. Some pretty good wheat this year. Combine just eats it. It's cleaner as a wheat eating machine. It actually will outrun the cloths in wheat. Not so much in beans, but run out of horsepower, but in wheat, it just does a great job. So getting some comments rolling in. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I don't have any kind of mic on my phone, so hopefully the audio is okay. I meant to bring it, but we got rain coming, and I was in our not really in a drought condition anymore, but we are still hurting for moisture. That's part of the reason why it's taken so long to harvest wheat. It rains a little bit pretty often, but we haven't had a good rain in quite a while. Like we just get like a tenth or two at a time. We need some more rain. But I think we have a wall of green on the today. Going down a hill here, and dive down and get that down wheat right there, and then back down right there, and then right there, and now we use all the power. Service is a bit lagged in that spot. Yeah, I was kind of wondering. I have service here, but I've had better service. Where's your dad? And where's your brother BJ? Did you tell him about his hands in his pocket? So BJ's running the grain cart right now. He'll be over here in a minute. Get turned around here. So we have about 35 acres of wheat left to run. So we are very close to done. We had 410 acres of wheat this year, I think. Now I still have 160 acres of double crop beans to plant, and kind of planting those in the mornings. And then, why ain't my auto steer working? Why are we doing a circle? We did a circle. Wonderful. Hitting technology, great. Hello from Ukraine. Hope everything is well there. Hope you are safe. Let's see here, check some of the comments. Sound is good. Oh, good. Does the air bar get in the way? So right now the air bar is just there. I do not have it engaged. I took the belt off of it. I don't think I really need it in wheat. If we had a lot of wheat down like that right there, I would be using it, because supposedly, I've never tried this, you can use that air to kind of blow that wheat into the cutter bar, but most of our wheat's standing really well. The only places we really have down wheat is where we had overlap, so yeah, it's just kind of hanging out there. How's the new house going and the shop? So finally getting some progress on the house again. Really not much had happened for like the past month and a half, but electrician's been in there. Concrete, got concrete in the garage, plumber's been there, so some stuff's happening. Hello from Alaska. Wow. Denmark. Wow. It's one thing I've noticed whenever I do live streams in the middle of the day, we get a broader audience. Hello from Italy. He's got an inch in Warren County, still slow rain. Huh. So Dad's over there. Someone asked how Dad was. He's right there. Someone asked what the yield is. This field is averaging like 110 right now, I think, or close to it. When's the next video? Good question. We will have a video out tomorrow. It's edited, it's uploaded. I'm going to schedule it to come out. I'll probably schedule it for 9 in the morning. So Yeah, be looking for that. Next morning, it'll be out 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, when you wake up, check out a new video. Ooh, I just got a weather alert from our weather station. Lightning detected 24 miles from Chillicothe. That's not good. I don't know if we're going to make it or not. So we got rain coming, like I say, and it's early. It was not supposed to be here until 3:30. It's going to be here around 2. So, Man, this is a lot easier when Kayla holds the phone. Is that Massey yours or a rent? So we have entered a partnership with Massey Ferguson, and that is a demo tractor from Massey Ferguson. Is that sprayer on tracks? Nope, we don't have a sprayer on tracks. Hello from Oklahoma. Wisconsin. For your crop rotation, do you do wheat, double crop beans, then next year corn? Correct. So this will be corn next year, and then the next year it'll be beans, and then after those beans are harvested, it'll be planted back to wheat. So we don't do that in all the fields. We have about 400 acres every year that we do that in. So what would that be? 1,200 acres basically that we rotate on a 3-year rotation. The rest of it is a corn bean rotation every 2 years. That combine has auto steer. It does, but I'm manually controlling the head. I'm not using my drag rods, so I'm constantly adjusting the head up, down, side to side, tilting it over. So yeah, without auto steer, we wouldn't be doing a live stream though. That's for sure. Headed down to Jackson with a load of gas, trying to beat the rain. Yeah, well, you're gonna get hit with the same rain cell we get hit with. So we're about 30 minutes from Jackson. How many acres are left? Right there. That's all of them. I guess my finger's in the way. There's 30 acres right there. We got a 10-acre field over there on the other side of that ditch, and then we got about 15 to 20 left of this field. Well, I mean, we're moving through it pretty good. My harvest rate right now is, what are we doing? 13 to 14 acres an hour, but that's theoretical. It doesn't count for turning. So with both combines running, we're probably doing about 22 acres an hour. I don't know if we're gonna make it. Do you plan to expand your farm as land goes? I would love to. We've been trying to. So if you've been following the channel for a while, the shop project got delayed last year. Like, we were really planning on doing that shop about a year ago, but we were trying to purchase some land, and well, we didn't get the land purchased, so the shop went on. But yes, we tried to purchase some land this spring actually, and went to an auction, and well, we got outbid. So yeah, definitely want to expand. That is one thing I take for granted. People ask, well, do you guys even want to expand? Absolutely. I don't want to farm like 20,000 acres, but I would love to pick up another 1,000 acres. We have the equipment that we could farm another 1,000 acres and not really need to make any huge infrastructure upgrades other than maybe a grain bin. I would love to have to put up a 100,000 bushel grain bin. That would be awesome. But right now we don't need one. And West Jeff getting good rain. You guys got like an inch yesterday though, or a couple of days ago. We missed that. It all broke up. We didn't get any of that hardly. I think we got a tenth or a quarter inch maybe. 2/10. I think we got 2/10. That shop is huge. Well, it definitely is looking bigger now that they have the sides on it. So I don't think I've posted a picture of it for a while, but all the sides are on the building now. The only thing that doesn't have metal on it, the doors don't have metal yet. We're waiting on windows for those. And the one end of the building where the big 50-foot door is, there's no metal in it yet. But the porch is done now. All the side walls are done, and the end wall. And yeah, it's looking awesome. I cannot wait to use that. One of the first projects you guys will see in a video, I buggered up my my bean drill, and I need to do some repairs on it before wheat planting. I'm just kind of limping it through double crops. And also this cutter bar on this combine needs needs rebuilt. Starting to get a little dull on me. So what I mean by that, you probably won't be able to see it once we dive into the wheat here, but those knives down there, the guards that like there's pieces of metal, those knives go back and forth in between. The knife and those guards, that's what cuts the crop, and they start to dull out after a couple of years. This one is starting to get dull. If I go much faster than 3 miles an hour, we start pushing wheat, not really cutting wheat. So I don't know that it'll make it through bean harvest this year. Might make it through the beginnings, but it'll definitely need replaced on a rain day. That shop will be pretty handy for that. Would you recommend a Gleaner if you had to buy one again? So I have no complaints with the Gleaner. It would be between this and a Kloss for me. Kloss is still a really good combine. You'll never really hear me say much bad about the job that they do. The only thing that sucks about that Kloss combine, that one right there, is it's expensive, and I mean, it's a complex combine. Now, all combines are complex. I don't understand when people say, well, it's a simple machine. No, it's not. We're taking that wheat right there, and in less than 10 seconds, it's going back there. That's not simple. Nothing about that is simple. But that Kloss, I think we had to put $18,000 in repairs in it before wheat harvest. I mean, that's just kind of a yearly occurrence with that machine. Now, granted, it has over 2,000 hours and over 2,000 separator hours, so we're hitting big maintenance milestones on it to where that happens. But that's my only regret with the Kloss. The Gleaner, so far, we've been under warranty the whole time we've had it. I did have a rat chew a wire off the EGR this year. We had to pay for that because that's not under warranty. But that's been the only money that we've put in this combine so far, which has been handy. The 3-hour podcast with your dad and your brother was priceless. So BJ wasn't actually in that podcast. That was Monroe. Thought you would hop onto the Fendt Ideal. Not yet. I think eventually, but not yet. Any plans to upgrade the other combine? I don't know. We're pretty much spent out between the shop this year. That's ate a lot of disposable income that we might use for upgrading. That combine is 100% paid for, which may not sound like a big deal, but combines are expensive. So with that thing being paid for, I mean, yeah, we're putting some money in it every year, but it's still way cheaper than a combine payment. I think the payment on this machine that I'm sitting in is like 60 grand a year. So $10,000 to $20,000 in parts on that one over there every year. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's a lot cheaper than a combine payment. And it still does a good job, so not this year. How's the drain tile working? Seeing any positive results? So yes, Dad made the comment when he was spraying those fields that that's the best stand we've ever had in those fields. Now, most of that is because it was in good shape when we planted it. A lot of times we plant those fields and they're still kind of marginal at best, but that's as dry as it gets. How's the wheat yielding? That's about how it's yielding. So we're still wet. We've never really dried down. That's been kind of the problem this year. This time last year we were done, and everything was out of the ground. I think we were finished and wrapped up before July 1st. I mean, everything harvested and planted. And this year we didn't really get started till like July 1st, and the wheat was still 20%. I think we started last Thursday, so what are we, 8-9 days in? What corn plant are you guys looking at next season? You'll have to stay tuned. It's being built right now. Planning on moving back home to Ohio, do you think a 30-year-old could get into farming in a realistic sense? I also edit and make videos, so it'd be interesting to see how yours have changed. As far as getting into farming, it's going to be a tough road. I think we're going to be in for a market downturn in the future, which is never easy, especially for someone starting. One thing that might help you when the market turns down, and cash rents will start to come down a little bit, and you'll see some people who dove into it as a hobby when the market was high, bought everything when it was high. They will get back out of farming. So you might be able to snag up some ground then. Now, if you wanted to do a specialty crop, I think there's lots of different opportunities there. I just don't know much about it. There's some crops where you just don't require a lot of land, like produce, for example, but very manual labor intensive. So if you have a day job, that could make that a little difficult. Certain animals for animal production may not need a whole lot of land for, like goats, for example. I don't think you need a lot of pasture for a decent sized amount of goats. We're waiting on the grain cart right now. BJ had to go dump. One thing about this field, we have to truck it down to there. There's really no good pull in over here. Get some coffee in me. It's hard to drink coffee when it's 90, but it's easy when you're in the cab. How many acres of wheat left? So we have roughly 30 acres of wheat left to harvest. So we're just about done. A little later than we'd like to be, but so far the quality of the wheat is still holding strong. Sometimes you'll get wheat starting to sprout when it gets rained on a few times, or mold. This wheat has never dried down enough for that to be a problem. That's our speculation, because, I mean, what is it? July 8th, and quality is still excellent, which is kind of surprising. Drink iced coffee during the summer. Coffee's meant to be drank hot. I'm not an iced coffee fan. In fact, I usually throw my coffee out when it gets cold. I think we're just going to dump on him sitting here. We got a pretty big dip right there. Catch up on some comments. Delivered today to see what test weight is. Test weight is superb. I think our test weight's been upwards of 60 to 61. Do you have any problems with grasshoppers? No, not yet. I thought I seen Nathan from Border View. There he is. Afternoon, Brian. How's the corn and beans doing down there? Still dry, or have you gotten some rains? We've gotten some rain. Everything's looking good. We're just not. We're still kind of in a moisture deficit. We could use some more rains. Hoping we get about an inch today. That would be fantastic. Really help the double crops what we have planted pop out of the ground, get them going to a nice start. Are you drying the wheat? No, we are running air on it, and then we're hoping to haul it out next week. We don't really want to keep it very long. There's some 20% and there's some 13% in there, so should all blend together. The air should dry it down a little bit, but none of our augers are really set up to. None of our dryers are really set up for wheat. The old batch dryer has so many holes in it, it would just leak. And I mean, I guess we could dry the wheat in the newer GSI, but we're actually starting to disassemble that one to remove it. So wouldn't be fun to do it now. BJ is a partner in the farm. What are your top 3 favorite Factor meals? So there's one, I think it's the one I just had one for lunch a minute ago when I ran down here. It's like cheesy ranch and chicken, bacon and ranch. That one's good. Blackened salmon, and those are 2 that I really like. Their tenderloins are pretty good. I don't know. There's several of them that I like, but those are my 2 favorites. Alright, so drop this down. Did you buy the grain cart? Where's your old one? That is still an unfinished grain cart. We have not bought a grain cart. Our J&M is actually sitting in a building. We try not to use that unless we have to, just because Unfinished brought us that one to use. I think they would prefer we use theirs over the J&M, so that's what we do. Now that one is leaving here after wheat harvest. We actually had that cart for 2 years. Usually they take one, usually in the past they've taken it after the end of fall harvest, but with shortages and whatnot, they're supposed to leave that one down here. Raining on Egypt Pike. Oh, for those of you that aren't local, that's only about 20 minutes from here. So if we start getting poured on, I will probably have to end this live stream abruptly. It is getting dark back there. So yeah, if we have to end it, I'm gonna have to end it. But we will hang out till then, or an hour. I like to keep the live streams under an hour. For one thing, all that talking, I start to lose my voice. Trying to pick up that down wheat, and we're not going to get it all, but we're going to get some of it. Like I say, we're really on a little bit of a slope there. So the head's not really flexing. I have the head pretty rigid right now. There's pins in that head to make it rigid for wheat. This is a flex cutter bar. I just crank up my cutter bar pressure and don't mess with those pins because I think they're a pain in the ass. I don't know what everybody else's preference is, but that's how I do it. Lazy way, or maybe, but it's my way. Does any of your equipment have a built-in refrigerator? So they call this a cooler. I call it worthless. It does not cool. It is just a storage compartment. It ain't worth a damn. So no, not really. And the Challenger and the Fendt, both of them have a air-conditioned vent in one of the storage boxes. That'll keep like a drink cool. You could probably keep a ham sandwich in there till lunch, but none of them actually have a built-in refrigerator. That's one thing that John Deere has going for it. They have a really nice refrigerator. Now the Fendt, you can get like a standalone, I can't remember what the brand, like a Dometic, I think, or Domestic, or I don't know. I've seen them on like overlanding Jeeps and stuff, but it takes up like one whole side of the cab, so that's why I never messed with it. It would be pretty handy though. I wouldn't have to tote around a lunchbox in the spring, but lunchbox is a lot cheaper. Cool to see wheat harvest out there. Should be starting in Montana in about 2 to 3 weeks. Finally out of the drought. Well, good. Glad to hear it. Yeah, we're a little bit ahead of you guys. I think you guys are probably raising spring wheat. We're raising winter wheat, so I think that probably has a lot to do with it. I don't know if, I guess I don't know much about the different kinds of wheat. I don't know if you guys can even raise winter wheat out there because of how harsh your winters are. Is it raining yet? Nope, not yet. What kind of subsidies and tax breaks do farmers get? So that is a question that comes up often. Like in the last shop video, someone said, there's my tax dollars hard at work or something like that. I said, yep, they were all yours. Thanks for paying your taxes. That was sarcasm because there's no arguing or reasoning with that person. There are some subsidies. The last 2 years, there's been very little to none. I think Cole the Cornstar has a pretty good video explaining farm subsidies. One thing that I hate about farm subsidies, and a way to look at them, the government needs to know what we're planning so they know for trading purposes what's going to be produced and whatnot. And they basically bribe us to give them that information with those subsidies. All of our acres are registered with the FSA for crop insurance. You have to do that to get your crop insurance. Then they benefit from having that information. Then the market can also correct or go up and down. I have always said that we would be better off with none of that. Now, food might cost more money, but I feel like the farmer would have more control over what they were getting for a price. Just my opinion, maybe not. I'm just a farmer, not an economist. Economist. I can't even speak, so don't take advice from me. Coal is a joke. Now, I would disagree. Cole and I have been friends since we both started. We both started about the same time. There are some things that he has done as far as like titling and whatnot that I can see where it would make some people upset. But at the end of the day, he is a good person. They are a great family. Nothing but respect for him. So keep that in mind. Hi from Hillsboro. Rain heading your way. Yeah. Looks like rain till 4 p.m. Yeah. Really thought we'd get this done, but not sure now. Hello from Western New York. Too much rain here for wheat harvest. Yeah, we were, so during I really like to be done with wheat by the 4th of July because we always try to do something on the 4th of July with some friends, and well, this year it didn't happen, but it would rain just enough where we would be around, like basically waiting on it to dry out all day. So last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, wheat was ran, but it wasn't ran till dark. Getting rain up here in Circleville. Wow. For the non-locals, that's just north of here. Are you able to bale straw? We could bale straw if we were set up for it. We are not. We don't have a baler or anything. We also don't have a market for it. And I don't want to have to wait on a straw baler to come in here before I plant beans. If this rain misses us, then there'll be beans in this field tomorrow afternoon. So that's why we don't bale. People have offered to do it. I've seen neighbors try that, and then I've seen that straw sitting out there for like a week or two, and they were waiting to plant their double crops because of that straw. So that's not what we're looking to do. If we had a great market for it, maybe, but we don't. So you're running a McDon. How big is it? So this is our gleaner head, but the cloth, it does have a McDon on it. It is a 40-foot FD75, and well, we've had a lot of issues with it this summer. It needs some work. Hello from Winnipeg. Such a funny name. Let's see here. Where are we at? Comments. Keep in mind I read slow, so. What is the extent of your tillage? Pretty much just VT. Correct. And strip till. So the strip till is a lot deeper tillage than the vertical tillage, and that's just on corn ground though. We are running that anywhere from 8 to 6 inches deep depending on the time of year. And that's basically like a mold knife, or it's probably more like a little ripper shank, but you're only busting up ground in like a 5-inch band. So I really like it. I know a lot of people are going to ask if we've seen any economic benefit in it. I don't really know. Like, I cannot say for sure that was the magic thing that has made us, X amount more bushels. I do think it's helping us. I think we are getting some tillage benefit, and we're also getting our fertilizer right on top of the corn. But there's also some pains in the butt with it. Someone agrees with me about giving the insurance information to control the market. Yep. Heard you can get as much for straw bales as you do wheat. It's not what I've heard this year. One of our neighbors was selling it for $3 a bale, but that was you picking it up out of the field. So they were saving a little bit on labor there. The wheat market's not the greatest right now, but I think it's like $6.50 right now up in our local mill, or $6.60 or something. We had some contracted at $9.50. Unfortunately, we did not contract enough. I guess Dad thought Putin was going to invade again. I don't know. Because when that happened last year, sucks for Ukraine, but that drove the wheat market nuts. Like, I'd never seen wheat that high. We sold high, like the highest we'd ever sold multiple days in a row there for a while. And when the market corrected, we should have taken advantage of that and sold some more, but we didn't. Sold some, but not all. Kentucky Farmer, thank you for the super chat. This will go towards a beer after wheat harvest. I appreciate it, buddy. There will be some beers consumed. One thing we do in the summer, we camp a lot at the local state parks, and that's where my wife and kids and BJ's wife and kids are now. So I will put that into the community beer fund. It's kind of a pain in the butt because you're basically just going to camp in the evenings, but it's a good way for the kids to have some fun and us get some work done at the same time. So that's why we do that. Yep, trying to spin you guys around. Hitting the wrong button. There we go. For some reason, my ag leader, like when I turn around, one side I have to nudge it over quite a bit. All my offs, like there is an offset for a gleaner because of the feeder house. That's programmed in there right. All my measurements are right, and everything worked real well last fall, but I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. We have not stopped to really mess with it much because wheat is a time-sensitive thing. Let's see, if BJ had a radio in that tractor, which he doesn't, he would know that I don't need to dump right now. I just put my auger out. But here he comes. Yeah, we might get done with this field, maybe. Maybe. I'd say I've done 22 acres. This field's 60. Dad had about a 10-acre head start on me. So we probably got about 10 acres left. But, burning along pretty good. Yep, wheat's cutting pretty easy. Straw's not super tough. But like I said, my cutter bar's starting to get a little dull. Have you noticed any smaller farmers struggling to compete with larger farmers in your area? Large farmers pushing small guys out. So I wouldn't call it a large farmer versus small farmer. I would call it the area BTO. And every area has that. The guy that will send a letter out to everybody that owns property, just throwing out a huge cash rent number that doesn't really put much fertilizer on the ground or really care for the ground like they should. But the landowner is getting a bigger cash rent check. And absentee landowners, that's a lot about what they care, unfortunately. It's not ethical. It's not the greatest thing in the world, and it doesn't help anybody other than those two people, but it happens. And yeah, our area has a couple of those. Not as bad as some, but it's there. Does the Crary make a big difference? So right now, I have the belt taken off. This is a belt drive Crary. I'll turn the camera around. So it's a belt drive. I've taken the belt off, so it's not doing anything. It's just there. In wheat, I don't feel like it's as crucial. So I just, with the belt off, I have more horsepower to use to go faster. So that's why it's off. Someone dropped a $10 super chat. Thanks. Buy your dad a beer. God bless the Browns. Thank you very much. I would assume you're talking about us and not the Cleveland Browns, because that'd get BJ going. But thank you very much. Ever consider planting edible beans? I don't know where the market would be. I think we would have to truck them a little further, and we'd want to. I guess for some areas, like 60, 70 mile trucking ain't as big of a deal, but that would be a lot further than we're used to driving. Hello from Germany. Well, hello. Do you have a book built to keep all your GPS settings in? No, I don't. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but nope, don't have one. Usually I have a bunch of photos. So like when I hook the planner up, I have a bunch of I have a folder in my phone for different planner hookups, where hoses go and stuff like that. I should do that with GPS. Gleaner versus Claas, which combine has a better sample in wheat? The Gleaner. The Claas is an excellent wheat combine as well, but the Gleaner is just a wheat eating machine. It really does a fantastic job in small grains. How's the wheat yielding? Pretty consistent right through here. How do you like the 10-inch wheat? So I fully expected to have a yield drag with 10-inch wheat, but it's hanging right in there. No complaints. It's doing great. I mean, I don't even realize that it's 10-inch wheat right here. Now, obviously, when it was growing, we maybe had a little bit more wheat pressure because it didn't canopy over as quick. But yeah, so far so good. What do you think about case combines? Did you ever try one? So in 2019 on the YouTube channel, we did demo an 8250 case. Thought it was a great machine. Had no real complaints with it. Several of our neighbors have went from Claas combines to case combines. At one time they had a bounty on Claas machines. Basically Case was pitching in factory money to get people out of Claas combines and into case combines. We did not trade at that time, so that bounty has expired, but it was like 50 grand or 30 grand or something like that. And that took, in our county, that took like 5 case or Claas combines and put them in case. So no real complaints. I didn't like the factory corn head. It wasn't much, and I didn't think the factory draper head was much. But other than that, yeah, it ran good. It was very simple to operate. The operating system was simple. I didn't like the Pro 700, but really in the combine, it wasn't as bad. But yeah, I would own a case. We did price a case when we bought this combine, actually, and it was just a little bit more money than we wanted to spend. Really, when we were buying this Gleaner, it was more of a, do we want a Gleaner or do we want a Claas? That was the two that we were really pricing against. At the time, Claas did not have the Treon, the Claas Treon. They just had a Lexion, which a Lexion is a little bit more money than a Treon. A Treon is very similarly priced to a Gleaner, and in my opinion, that would have been a very attractive looking machine as far as the price and what you were getting for that price, but it wasn't available at the time. One thing about them, though, there's not many of them out, so I don't know how they're holding up or anything. Man, it's definitely going to rain. It's getting dark. Oh man, I hope we get this done. I feel so much better. But yeah, the double crops being in would be great, but having this wheat done will be fantastic. It'd be a huge relief. Have you ever considered a John Deere combine? So a John Deere is the only combine that I have never ran. I've ran a New Holland, I've ran a Case, I've ran a Kloss, I've ran a Gleaner, I've ran a Fendt. I've never ran a John Deere. I have no problems running one, but that's the only thing that I've never demoed. If Ag Pro or John Deere would like to send one, I would gladly demo it. I would love to try one. But we did price one of those as well, and as we suspected, it was substantially more money. It really wasn't even that it was more money, it was that they were going to give us a lot less for a trade-in, which makes sense. I mean, if you're trading in a Kloss combine to a Kloss dealership, which is the same as our AGCO dealer, they both sell both combines, they're going to have a better market for that combine in the used side, so that makes sense. Any problems with the GMRS radios? Not really. Like some of them, I don't know if we have any of our original batch from 2018. We probably do. So I mean, some of them are 5 years old, and they still work fine. Much less trouble out of them than the CBs we used to have. So no complaints. Would do it again. Now Midland has sent me radios in the past, but I have no affiliation as far as like a discount code. I'm not trying to sell you radios, is what I'm saying. They have sent me products, but I think the world of those radios. There's one sitting right there. Uh-oh, what happened? One sitting right there. I think this is an MXT 500. Works great. Radar says rain any minute for you. Yeah, it's kind of looking like it. It's going to happen quick, and unfortunately, we're not going to be done. I hope BJ tarps that truck when he gets done loading it. But one thing about it, we'll get to go camping early. How's the house coming along? Slow but sure. We'll definitely be in the shop before we're in the house. Better get her in the shed. We ain't putting in the shed till the windshield's wet. No. That's how you get to the shed and then turn around. Someone says Massey Ferguson combine. So fun fact, the Gleaner combine is under the Massey Ferguson division of AGCO. So at the moment, this is the only Massey Ferguson combine. The only combine Massey Ferguson offers is the Gleaner. So there's no Massey labeled combines in North America. Now overseas, I believe they label the Ideal as a Massey. Trouble with John Deere's, they don't like wet stuff. Well, see, we'd probably be okay because for the most part, the wettest corn we run is like 22-23%. John Deere does have a good machine. That was a comment. Like I say, I've never ran one. I don't know. I think that each combine has its quirks. Like the Kloss is a great machine. It has its quirks. This is a pretty good combine. Great machine. It has its quirks. The Case also, the Deere. I mean, they all have little things that they don't do well. For the most part, I think they all make a pretty good combine. BJ needs more airtime. Well, I gave him a camera, and sometimes he uses it, sometimes he don't. Let's see some super chats. That would be awesome, Ranger. I would appreciate it. I think actually you're the one that sent the $10. Thank you very much for that. Would you ever try a Challenger combine? They don't make that anymore. It was my understanding that was basically, for a while, there was a Massey Ferguson combine, a Challenger combine, and a Gleaner combine that was a rotor machine, not like a traditional Gleaner combine. And those three were all the same combine with different shields. Randy, the master pipe layer, actually ran one of those for a few years, and he said it was a really high-capacity combine. It was just kind of crude. Now, granted, they haven't made those in like 10 years, so I don't think we will be running one of those anytime soon. We just got 2 X9s for harvest this year. We run spring wheat and pinto beans. Curious to see how they run in the edible beans. Yeah, there's a few X9s in our area. Now, we're not running any kind of crops like that in this area, but the people that have them seem to like them. There's a farm, what is it, like 45 minutes away. They have 3 of them. They seem to get along pretty good with them. Oh, the farming guy. Thank you for the super chat. How do you like the Massey so far? So the 5S, really like it. It's a great little tractor, super nimble. The other one hasn't been announced on the YouTube channel yet. That's actually the next video. So in the next video, we get another Massey tractor, and it makes its debut tomorrow. So check that one out. Challenger Massey Ferguson A Series Gleaner are all the same combine, but replaced with the Ideal. How far are you from Nathan? So I think Nathan's about 4 hours away. That's about how far we are to Michigan, and I think he's in really southern Michigan, so something like that. How do you decide when to sell your wheat? Well, just like with all other crops, we try to figure out how much it's going to cost to produce, get a certain number in mind, where if we have an average yield, we need this much dollars to break even, we need this much dollars to make this much money, and basically anything above that's when we start selling. At least that's how I'd handle it. Brian, will you be able to tell us about the secret combine anytime soon? Well, the one we ran last year was yellow and black, and it had a blue seat, and it rhymed with Old Dutch. But it's not a typical one that you would be used to seeing. So it's a little different. I don't know if they ever announced that combine or not. It was in Europe, and they were considering bringing it to North America, and they wanted to run it against a Gleaner. Well, unfortunately for them, that's when our Gleaner crapped the transmission. So while it was here, it never actually went up against our Gleaner. We just ran it for a day. Actually ran it for a couple days, but it just didn't work out. Get turned around here, drop the head, nudge over like 10 inches. So Dad sprayed this with the floats on. You can kind of tell there's a little bit wider tire track than normal. It's kind of the disadvantage of leaving the floats on too long. Get great flotation, rut the field up less, but you run over more wheat when it gets tall. Yeah, we're not raining yet, but not far. Not far. Oh, another super chat. Mr. E30. Brian, I would love to see you trolling BJ more often, like the time you shouted at Snake. Yeah, me and BJ have fun. So some people think that I'm picking on him or being mean. We do that to each other. We're having fun. There's a lot that happens that you guys don't see on the camera, and it goes both ways. Is this your last field? Well, kind of. Technically, there's 10 acres on the other side of a ditch right there. That's a different field. How's the yield? So all the wheat yields have been right around 100. Some a little more, some a little less, but we've had a pretty good wheat yield this year.
Copy, bro.
Oh, yep. What do you need?
You can put that in the shop. You'll go in there. You should do, I think, a battery charge there on the left. Start draining. So I don't know, gonna get this done. Don't look good.
Yeah, it's getting close. Well, there you go. I got to put this one in the shop. So we have a equipment shed at the house. He's going to put the cloths there. This one, it's one thing I don't like about the Gleaner. There's a couple things that I dislike about this combine compared to that one. One of them is the grain tanks. They don't actually seal. Those ones, when you put the extensions down on the cloths, it's watertight. This one, it's not, and you'll have a water puddle in the bottom of it. Now there is a drain. Just open up the bottom of the auger, drain it out, but it just kind of makes a mess. But another thing I dislike about this combine, the feeder house, right now it's covered in wheat, but it's really short, and it's hard to hook up because you can't see it on this side. I don't like that part. And it doesn't turn as well as that combine, which also sucks when you're hooking up, when you just need to get over like an inch. This combine does not turn near as well as the cloths. Like, it doesn't have as much power in the power steering. Have you thought of growing winter canola? I hear that we are too far south. How much wheat did you guys plant this year? We had about 410 acres, I believe. Is the wheat you are on right now on Route 50? Nope, we are not on Route 50 at the moment. Didn't have any wheat over there. They're all good when they work and they suck when they don't. That is a fact. I've yet to find a combine that was easy to work on. That's one thing people say about the Gleaner. It's easy to work on. Well, nah. Maybe if you know what you're doing. Oh, another super chat there. No, that's it. Man, something's going on with my comments. I can't see it. A bunch of them just got consolidated and I can't see them now. Huh. How wide is that head? This is a 40-foot head. So I don't know that you could go much wider on a Gleaner because of the auger. In fact, we have an extension on this auger because from the factory, a 40-foot on this combine with that auger, it was very sketchy dumping on the go. Now with that extension, it's easy. I don't know why AGCO doesn't offer that from the factory. That'd be one of the main changes I would make. I'd make the feeder house a foot longer, make it turn a little better, and make the auger a little longer from the factory. I jumped in your live stream a couple years ago and asked you what your dream combine would be. Curious to see what it is now. Probably an 8900 Kloss or 8800, whatever their big one is. I just feel like with that combine, you could just eat whatever crop you wanted to as fast as you wanted to. Gleaner doesn't make anything that big. I think a Kloss would outdo an X9 any day of the week. I've never ran either one of those machines though. I know what a Class 7 Kloss can do compared to a Class 7 anything else, and it's impressive. Last time it was an ideal. Yeah, that figures. That's my answer now. I just jumped in. Chillicothe had some rain this year. We've been pretty dry. Everything is looking good right now. In June we were getting scary dry. I really thought like a few weeks ago or around Father's Day, I thought we'd be done with wheat like quickly. I did not think we were just going to be in a drought. Keep everything doing well. Short this year, really good crop, but we're still a long ways out.
More do you need on the cart? You need very much?
He's about half full, maybe 3/4. But
one of us fill it then. With this does.
We'll have to jump off here, folks, because we're going to have to start making some decisions about rain and how far to go. So, thanks for hanging out. If you would, don't thumbs up this live stream when we jump off here. And also, like I said, we will have a tractor reveal video tomorrow on the latest demo from Massey. So be sure to check that out. I'm going to schedule that for 9 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow morning. Check it out, drop us a comment, let us know what you think of the tractor, and we'll see you guys in the next one.